Oh, gosh, I don't even know how to act. You ever like been in quarantine for like a month and a half to 6 months, and you see a beautiful woman, and you go up to her and you're like, blah, 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 and you're stumbling, mumbling all over yourself because you don't know how to act. Now that is exactly what's going on right now. This is the Lonely Uncle episode number 42. How are you? It's great to be here. And I'll start off with this because it's been a while, and I just need to get back in the groove, in the swing of things. But I was talking to my friend recently, and he's wigging out, bro. He's like, we're opening up the city too quickly. We're gonna pay, and this dude is so comfortable. I'm not saying I'm not comfortable because I'm all right during this. I'm straight because I'm just a survivor, dude. I'm straight. I'm fine. Okay? I got to shake out the cobwebs when I go out in public once in a while, but still, I'm straight, bro. But this guy ain't doing, and he's just like, what we gonna do? Dude, the same guy that's scared to go outside. He's scared because he thinks he's going to catch it outside, which, I mean, yeah, we got reasons. It sounds like it's horrible. If you catch this thing, you're going to go quick. But, dude, see, I've known you for a while, bro. And if you've hung with me, you've gone and done some stuff. You've gone live life. Because I wouldn't want to be that hypocrite and say, yo, I mean, how are you going to be a lonely uncle and not live your life to the 100s, right? So this dude, back in the day, and I'm talking about back in the day, something got in my head because I'm back on that online dating scene, and somebody said you need to be aware of your angles on your podcast because had kind of got some decent numbers, and I don't want any people all up in my nostrils, bro. But anyway, this dude, my friend, bro. So we used to roll, and he's sitting here telling me this. Oh gosh, we gotta be careful. How are we opening up the city? What are we doing? Why? How can we open up? We gotta social distance, and he might be right, and this could be a big thing because we're starting to open up stuff, we're starting to open up stuff, and it's starting to be real, right? And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm not saying it's right or no, because who knows? There could be a second wave, but then there could not be a second wave hit that hard, and it might be all worth it, but nobody knows what they're talking about. Even if you are on Facebook, you don't understand what's going on. But anyway, so I said, hey, buddy, I know who you are. And when we used to go out back in the day and we were, I'm still single. I'm the lonely uncle. But, bro, you're worried about the coronavirus? The viruses that the women you used to see are way more severe, and your odds are way higher than the coronavirus. Oh, when we went down to Miami and that thick girl with the spider web tattoo, that's Russian roulette right there, bro. That was like a 6-shooter, 5 bullets in it. And you're telling me you're scared of coronavirus? Dude, I saw you roll up in the VIP with that thick, bruh. I saw you. And I've seen some of the way. You're scared of this virus? Bruh, you were the bravest human being I've ever seen back in the day. What happened? You're scared of this virus? Back in the day, when you were a playboy? play with those matches on a regular. I could not believe what happened to people. So you're really concerned about this virus. You're really concerned about going out when the women I've seen you with, I mean, that virus right there, bro. So, episode 42. Gosh. God, it's good to be back. Just back. You wanted to cuddle and talk. Some coffee. I want to walk. 'Cause you don't have a. You do not have a soundproof bathroom. You do not have a soundproof bathroom. That's what I need. Soundproof bathroom. Woo! Woo! 42. God, it's been a great run, baby. Bathroom. I wanna be coffee with you. I'm gonna need a soundproof bathroom. I wanna be coffee with you. Soundproof bathroom. Bathroom. I will drink coffee with you. I will drink coffee with you. If you will soundproof your bathroom. I wanna get coffee with you. I'm gonna be a soundproof bathroom. Matches I can strike when it's quiet. Soundproof spray. Soundproof bathroom. Soundproof bathroom. So how do you feel about us opening it up? You know, that was Soundproof Bathroom, and that's one of my summer jams. I can go ahead and tell you right now. That that's what's going on. You know. It kind of remind me of one time I was in a serious relationship with a girl. When I say serious, a serious relationship to me is like a few strong weeks. But anyway, so we were going, and she was like, I don't feel very safe staying over or staying too long, but because she drank that coffee, and that coffee used to give her that irritable bowel syndrome. Irritable bowel syndrome. And matter of fact, one of our first guests are going to have that disease, because we're already talking about a lot of diseases and viruses. I talked about my buddy that liked those virus girls, those girls that had to carry those viruses. and then there's a virus out in what's going on now, and then we're gonna have this girl in here. She's the thick girl, and she's gonna talk about her irritable bowel syndrome, the IBS, I can't even say it, irritable bowel syndrome, and that's a serious case. And I think she's been giving a timetable as far as to live, because it hits pretty hard. But anyway, so we didn't last. We didn't last because I wasn't her having the IBS, because I love all people. And I think there's something secretive and something very, I wouldn't say, well, yeah, attractive in a way. Like, girl's very, very beautiful, very attractive on the outside, but I know this thing about her. She's got that IBS. She's got that irritable bowel. But I love her anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know every evening after we have dessert, have some coffee, it's like tuba practice, like in high school tuba practice up in here. But except there's not, people are hitting wrong notes left and right. That's what it'd be like. But she'd be beautiful, but I love her because I only see what's good in people, and that's what makes a beautiful relationship. But it just got a little complicated because she wanted me to install soundproof bathrooms because she was a little insecure about stepping up in that Johnny John. She was like, man, this isn't Birdland this isn't Miles Davis Birdland. You know what I'm saying? This isn't John Coltrane, at the Village Vanguard. I'm not trying to have that life. I need some soundproof bathrooms. I need you to install them if you want this relationship to last. And I looked at her and I said, baby, you're asking a lot there, but I'm willing to do it. And I started getting them installed. I started getting installed those soundproof bathrooms because she had that irritable bowel syndrome. But then, she looked at that as being weak. Like I would go to her any demand. Okay. So I caught her cheating one time. She was on that application, that Farmer's Almanac application, or Farmer's dating farmers. And now she moved out to she got some land down southeast. And that's the end of that. But I'm just saying, you got to love people for who they are. And if you sacrifice and you give up a little something, it still might not work out. And I was getting that soundproof bathroom, installed because she was insecure. And I was like, I still love you anyway, baby. Even though it's like, the USC marching band up in here. Gosh, man. So what's been going on, boy? What's been going on? Oh, let me talk about this. Let me tell you a little story. Back in the day, when I was, because I spit knowledge. Let's just say I spit knowledge, and I have people that, basically listen to me. They process what I say, and they put it to their life. They apply it, whether it's the podcast, classroom, field, wherever it is, and they learn from it. So, early, I was an educator, right? Or I'm building to be a future educator. So, I was in elementary school, and I believe it was first grade, and I had this teacher. Her name was Miss Mariello, and boy, I didn't know much what was going on, and I was discovering who I was as a little kid, as a G, as a hustler, because I'm from the wood. I've shared that with you before from the wood. But Miss Mariella, she was a how should I put this? She was a hefty, thick teacher, woman. And I couldn't, and I still don't know what's going on. I'm still trying to figure out who I am. I don't really like girls yet, but still there's that biology that's early and it's sprouting, right? And I never forget. I was getting hundreds. A little bit later in the school year, I was getting hundreds because one of my favorite things to do was spell. And I was pretty good at it. And that week, I remember one of our words that week was thick. That thick. And there was something about that word that it gravitated. I was gravitating to that word. Like thick. I like thick. Something about that thick, And it was always funny because I had a string of 100s on my spelling test. But when I sat down to spell thick, there was something about T, I would H, and I was standing in between the lines because it was those big, the big font, when you're spelling it out. T, H, I was like I, and then I'll be like, yeah, that's an I. I dot the I. Sometimes I messed up and put a capital letter, get capital letters and lowercase confused, but I was on the way. I said I, and then I put that C. And I knew that there was something left. And I'd spell it out. I'd be like, thick. And for some reason, I just couldn't get that. I couldn't get past the fact that it was that sound, that k. And I was just kind of stuck on it because I was just so like, my mind, all I could think about was that thick. I like it. I didn't know what I liked, but I liked it thick. So here I am, and the teacher comes by and they said, Justin, what are you doing? And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm spelling out the weekly vocab words. And she picked up that big, the big piece of paper. So like the size of like a desk. And sure enough, on it, it read THICC, and I was stuck, and I just kept writing C's, C. Miss Mariella was like, what's going on? And I'm like, right there, I kind of snapped out of it. I was hypnotized. And there was something about that moment that it registered that I just like it thick, man. Thick. Everything in life thick, bruh. Miss Mariella was thick. I like my milk at lunch. I liked it a little thick. You know what I'm saying? I like that whole milk that maybe expired a few days ago. Kind of sticking together a little bit. I like that little milkshake kind of effect on it. I liked it thick. I like my oatmeal, not that much milk, not that much water. I wanted my wrist to get a little sore when I was stirring it up because I like that thick. So I didn't get the 100 on that quiz. We couldn't figure it out. They took me and they were like, what's going on? You just keep on. He's just stuck on the C. Thick. C. That thick, dude. And I think that explains a lot about me and the way I view. I love thickness. I love that thick. So that's how I originated. That's where I came from. So I look at this controversy, and people And I know where I stand. There's a woman by the name of Adele, or Adele. Adele? She has a very beautiful voice. But anyway, she sort of lost her identity. She lost a lot of weight. And now, people are like, man, have you seen Adele or Adele? She looks fantastic. And people are buzzing. And I saw it, and then, of course, it pops up a picture, and she doesn't even look like herself. Many people are like, you look healthy, you look blah, 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 you look wonderful. I was not in that camp. Because it took me back to elementary school. During the spelling test. Thick. Adele was thick. She was thick, bruh. That thicker sticker, bruh. So when those SJWs got on and said, listen, why are you complimenting her now when she's skinny? She was beautiful when she was big. And that's when I look at that SJW and I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. Thick is beautiful, bruh. Dude, but on a real talk, imagine losing all that weight and just feeling fantastic, because losing weight is fantastic. I was fat. Man, I was 30 pounds fatter this time, probably a year and a half ago. And I was just that thick. Matter of fact, I saw a girl that I used to rap to, and she saw me, and she got thicker. So I was like, snicker. But I bet she probably put on, I don't put poundage on people, but she gained about 40. Nah, that's a lot, ain't it? 35. She gained about 35. 37 and a nickel. And she did not look good. She looked like she hit a hard, she looked like a hard, hard patch. She was not, she did not look good. And the dude she was with, no. I mean, I'm not passing judgment just on looks, but it just didn't look good. And the state she was in did not seem very good. But anyway, she looked at me and she said, man. Matter of fact, this is a funny story. She didn't recognize me because I was shaved. This is earlier in the year, because I had a big, when I saw her, I had a big beard. And honestly, she didn't recognize me at first. And she approached me, not knowing it. And then it took a second. She was like, oh my God. Because we kind of had a little falling out. And then it all registered, and I had lost that weight, and I shaved a little bit. I kind of cut off that candy addiction I have. I love that candy. But she complimented me, and it felt great, because of course you just feel good, and that's one thing I've learned. It feels good to be complimented. Especially if you worked hard for something. Sometimes, you might go or hold yourself in a certain way, but everybody needs a compliment somehow. And that's the truth, because this is just a side note. I was noticing, you hear the news, Tom Brady went to the Buccaneers. And like the Patriots for so long, they just took him for granted. He's 6 Super Bowls. He's amazing, right? And it kind of made me think about that. And I'm sorry, I apologize if I've talked about this before, because it's been a while since I've went on here and rambled on. But one thing he said, he was like, yeah, when I was with the Patriots there, when it was winding down, they never came to me one time, and I never really, they didn't want me, and then the Bucks call, and they're like, come down here and play for us. And he said something, and this is the greatest player, maybe the greatest player to play the quarterback position in the NFL of all time. I'm a big fan. But he said, hey man, it was really nice to feel wanted and be sought after. And I was thinking, this might be a man that has everything in the world. This man has a beautiful woman. This man, Tom Brady, is amazing, because I think it was in 2000s, he was dating someone, a supermodel wife, right? He broke up with her, met Gazelle, they started dating, finds out from his first supermodel wife, or was it his girlfriend at the time, that he got her pregnant. And this is not Gazelle or Giselle, whatever her name is. Beautiful lady. I need to brush up on my models. I just know Instagram thoughts. I know them. I can spit out Instagram thoughts name like that, but you ask me the Victoria's Secret models, sometimes I get a little mixed up and I mispronounce. But anyway, this guy got her super, but then he ended up marrying Giselle and having a family with Giselle, and then because he won six Super Bowls after that, he has totally everything he could ever imagine. He's beautiful, he's everything, and this is someone who actually flat out came out and said it was nice for someone just to show a little bit of interest in me, and this is a man who has everything, right? So no matter how stoic, I know you're watching that Michael Jordan documentary, which is absolutely incredible. Nobody's ever been wired like him. And I could talk about that forever. I could have a 10-series podcast on that, breaking down everything about that. Because that's just what I do. Because I have my hand in everything. Modeling, thoughts, desserts, cheeses, different types of cheeses. But that girl told me, and I'm just saying, complimented me, said something nice, and it felt really good. And I was going back to Adele, because imagine you losing all that weight and people, the argument is, oh, you were so beautiful when you were thick or when you were overweight. And she's just like, what? I see what these went. I see what people are doing. I know what they're trying to say, but hey, look at me. I worked really hard for this, right? And that's 2020. What I described right there is 2020. That's where we are as a society right now. You lose weight, you feel great, right? You have disciplined diet. There is nothing hotter than discipline, dude. I realize one thing that I am attracted to as a human being is somebody who is disciplined. That is just such an attractive trait to me. And it's so funny because the older I get, I just scratch off things that are just so superficial, you know? But I'm like, if you have discipline, the discipline, that is so attractive to me. And Adele, keep on calling her that, showed that discipline, and she deserved, hey, you look great. And you can't even say that in the workplace anymore because you will get harassed. You will get sexual harassed charges, bro. And I'm serious on that shit, straight up. You will get some kind of charge. You know, you can't even say anything anymore. You can't even compliment anymore. Even though women compliment me at times, and I'm just like, am I supposed to go to HR? No, I'm not going to go to HR. But I just wish we could just be normal people anymore. I wish we didn't have to deal with dumb stuff like this. I wish we didn't have to worry about, here comes the other half. You know, here comes the girls eating Cheetos with the Cheeto cheese on their fingers, bruh. And they're grabbing their phone and they're sitting there and they're making notes and they're saying, oh, guess what? Adelaide, she's actually was more beautiful when she was bigger. What are you trying to say? She wasn't beautiful before? Well, can she still sing? Gosh, she has a great voice. Beautiful voice. It's another turn on. Beautiful voice. And like that. But that's what we're living in this day and time, man. This is what's so crazy. Everything is just, why can't we just be normal? You know what I'm saying? Why can't we just say, Adelaide, you look great. Adele, you look great. Good job. You know, you look amazing. You're healthier. And let's just say it. Adele now is healthy. Adele back then, she was a little big, and that could run into health problems. But let's not just go ahead and praise. I'm not saying, but let's not just ignore the fact that this woman just dedicated herself and she looks fantastic. You know what I'm saying? So we can't just have it. Everything's fair and everything. Well, not everything's fair, but man, being way overweight isn't healthy. It just isn't healthy. I mean, you might be a little bit thick, and I know that this beginning of the story, I like it thick. I'm thick, that thick stick. I'm not saying I don't love that, but I'm also saying health wise. I mean, sometimes some people that are two, boy, if you're in that thick club and you're a little bit on that little thick side, you might have a little, you know, might have some cholesterol problems, and you want to stick around for a while. So you gotta make note. You better check yourself. But that's where we live, though. Social media sitting there saying, "Oh, what you're trying to say is that she's not beautiful. She wasn't beautiful then. She's more beautiful when she was, now she's look at her. She's conscious of her body. She's worried about being the way she's being perceived. So she loses this weight, and she can't just be a beautiful woman. No, we gotta give this up, bro. I'm just ready to hear her sing, man. Did she come out with some more music? She's the kind of person I admire listening to it, but I'll never listen to it. You know what I'm saying? I have a lot of artists like that I admire, that I'm like, you're really talented, but I'm not going to spend my afternoon listening to you. That's just that kind of music. I'm not going to spend a lot of my free time and extra time doing that. So that's just me, though. But you can like it, and I know a lot of people that I bet she can sing. She's amazing. She's performing or something. I'm watching it. I'm gonna watch her sing and be like, that's just the way it is. But man, I could not spell that word, bro. And now it's kind of trendy. I start trends. Sometimes I start trends when I was little, and sometimes they don't pick up until 36 years later. But now everybody wants to say compliment thick con, that thick con. And thick can be anything, bro. Thick con could be anything. I like that thick chicken. I want that thick chicken patty, bro. It's not sexual at all. It can be applied to everything. So that's what I'm talking about. I think on my last episode, I think I started off something, and it's so funny because I listen to stale work. I started this podcast because I listened to people were starting up their podcast, or now a lot of people it's kind of catched on, and it's very unique now to be a white male and have a podcast and talk about absolutely nothing. But here we are. But anyway, and I said something about effect, man. Like, God, man, it sucks. Like, right when the quarantine hit, maybe you were sitting there thinking about leaving your girl or leaving your man, and then you're like, oh my gosh, we're quarantined. I can't do it by myself. And then you stick in the situation, or you just are quarantined, and you have to spend every minute with that person because they're not going into work anymore or whatever, and you realize you really hate them. And it's actually not a bad time to be a lawyer. It's not a bad time to be a lawyer. I feel there's going to be when we're out of this, bro, it's going to be, But on the serious side, when people are stuck in the same house together, man, things can pop off. Crazy stuff can happen. And I don't have to worry about that, fortunately, Do I go days and days and days? Well, see, by myself and don't really communicate during quarantine with anyone? And do I feel like isolated and kind of living in a weird world? Yes. Does it feel surreal? Yes. Does some days the only person I really talk to is the girl at Dunkin' Donuts? Yes. But am I here screaming at at someone, at a sibling that I'm really not, because they're annoying me? I don't have to worry about that. So the give and take, or in a passionate fight with my significant other, who I'm slowly starting to realize I don't really like very much. God, that'd be depressing, wouldn't it? So I was also thinking about this, man. Back in the day, when I lived in my neighborhood, there was this G, man, and when I say a G, he was a doctor. Okay, I think he was a brain surgeon, I want to say. But anyway, this guy, he was only really around. He worked a lot. He traveled a lot for work, right? And he'd only be around once in a while. And he had this wife that was, she was beautiful. And I knew that she always looked so perfect. She almost looked like a 90s version of Marilyn Monroe. I would say. Just really pretty, and they had a couple kids, very pretty, and they were younger than me at the time. And I remember just thinking, man, they're the perfect family, but it's so weird that he's not around that much. Come to find out a little bit later is that he was a player. He had another family, I believe in another state, and he had kids with another woman. And for some reason, I often think about that. And I was thinking about if you had that going on now, because let's just face it, some people aren't very good people. They're just not good human beings. And that was happening. But now you have quarantine, let's say, and you have this job. Maybe you're not in the medical field, but you're traveling all the time. And let's say you do have the two families going on. And of course, it's going to be a male, because a female would be very hard to pull that off. To have kids and then have kids with another man somewhere else, and then, because your kids would be like, where's mom? But dad, in this case, is a brain surgeon or a big time fancy CEO or something, and he's traveling all the time. And I was thinking, man, the guy, he ended up getting caught, and we never saw the family again. But there was all these legendary stories about him, of course, because I mean, that's just out of the player handbook. But I was just thinking about, there's probably these people, a guy that was in that same situation in the quarantine, and he's like, oh my God, what am I going to do, dude? Oh my God, I got two families, and now I'm supposed to be quarantined? How am I going to hop, skip, and a jump from family to family and keep this facade up? And I thought about that guy. I thought about that doctor, dude. I was like, man, this would be a tough situation. But I guarantee you, he'd find a way to, maneuver it, because he was a G, That's crazy, right? Find out that you really learn about somebody you never knew of. They had a secret family somewhere. That's wild, bro. That's wild. So, I kind of thought about that. I thought about that real quick. That was funny as hell. Yeah, so, you hustlers out there, got two families, call in. Yeah, I need to think about that. I need to think about some, I was going to get somebody with an irritable bowel syndrome in. Just talk about their life, how it is to have that. If you have that, DM me. If you have two families, DM me. I'd like to interview you, kind of talk a little bit about how it is, how you handling two families, how you managing that in this time, in this climate. That'd be a very interesting conversation. Because I don't want actors. I don't want celebrities. I want interesting people. It always trips me out when people say, like, man, I'd love to meet this actor. What is an actor? Let's think about this. What is an actor but someone who just regurgitates lines that were written for him by a writer that actually has personality, that has creativity, that's creative, that can make that actor, who's probably pretty or whatever, has wide ranges of emotion, that can display it on camera or whatever. What are they? Dude, actors are lame, man. I don't know how many interviews I've seen in actors. I'm just like, that was disappointing. I guess that's why they're an actor. But if you get a writer or like a comedian or like somebody that's actually really interesting, man, I could listen to them forever. That just goes to show, it's just like an actor's beautiful. And there's advantages to that. Like Margot Robbie, It's just like you look at her, she walks in, you're just thinking, what a beautiful, and I would not be like, I talk big now, but if she should, hopefully she's pretty cool. I bet she is. I'm not saying everybody's good, but sometimes it really does. Like some of my favorite actors, I saw interviews, I was like, man, that was disappointing. And it's just like refreshing if they have some kind of personality, if that makes sense. But the writers, they're the ones that are getting down. They actually have something to say. They're creative. They can actually do something that's interesting, and that's what makes interesting people interesting. So on my podcast, I want the guy with two families. How'd you manage that? That's interesting to me. But if you did minor in acting in college, DM me too, because I like to ask you some questions, because you're probably pretty cool, you know? So, uh, I know a big question now is how Mr. Lonely Uncle, how are you going to meet women? And I got back up on the those applications, and now they're like not threatening, right? Because online dating now is you don't physically go out, which makes you appear like you're not a threat. So what I've realized is like women are more willing to chat with you, but I know, you know, uh, that a lot of this is just to kind of fill in time until and when the real thing hits, when we can go back to personal dating. I feel like there's a lot of people get be kind of strung around, or basically kind of let on a little bit, and people are just kind of just making some kind of connection, and and I really haven't even dipped into that, man. I've just been kind of browsing on the outside. Um, so and oh, let me get to someone. I had a couple of questions. He's actually pretty good. And this actually has to relate what I'm talking about. Dear LU, completely tearing up the game. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Should I dump my girlfriend over Zoom? That's a good question. Should you dump your girlfriend over Zoom? I would say yes. Because Zoom's the new reality right now. You know? And I think a text message is very passive. But at Zoom, look at her in the eyes and say, "Hey, man, it's not working out." And you can even play this. This is a little clip right here. You can say, "Hey, it's just not working out. Nope. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna move on." But I think that's pretty, you know. But anyway, I was browsing, boy, and let me tell you something, man. I have this, and we've already laughed about this because I've already told this guy because we're close, and he's a regular watcher. He's one of my. He's one of my. He might not watch every episode of or listen to it every episode, but he is a supporter. But anyway, he's a little bit younger than I am, but I found out that his mom was on this website or was on this dating app. And I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I thought about that swippity swipe because, dude, I don't know about you, but bruh, that's hot. I mean, she's older. She's an older woman. She's called a woman. And if you don't know what a woman is somebody that puts a child like me in my place. But instead of making it really weird and awkward, I went ahead and said, "Hey, man, I saw your mother on the dating app. I see that she's back out in the field, and I felt good for her. She's getting back out there." But then I was like, "But don't be surprised if I drop a little dim, that dim, and that you have to call me daddy now." That could be a possibility. Because we never know in this crazy world where you're going to find love. I mean, in the quarantine, man, what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? So, it's just, take your time. Log on to it. Say, "Hey, we need to talk. It's really not working out. And you're a good person. And you kind of remind me of a girl that in high school, she's, the kind of girls that used to bring blankets to school." How horrible are those girls, dude? Dude, if you brought a blanket to school and you're a girl and you brought a blanket to school because you're like, "I just woke up," or you wore pajamas, Worst kind of purse. Worst kind of purse. You got your blanket out. God, it's fantastic. Oh my gosh, man. Are we gonna make it out of this, dude? Are we gonna make it out of this team, man? I don't know. That's the beauty of it all. I don't know. But this has been fun getting back into it. And guys, I really do appreciate you you tuning in. This is good. Mental health. You know, it's good for me. It's good for you. And you know, don't be afraid to slip in those DMs, man. Shoot your shot, bro. Shoot your shot. I mean, what else we got left, bro? I mean, this could be it. That Rona. What's gonna be next? What's gonna be next? It's a beautiful world. Until next time, LU. You know, hit me up on Instagram. I will add you. 40 Instagram. Lonely Uncle 40. I am on Twitter. I don't even know what that's called. I think it's J Rich Insights. I am on the Facebook. I think my name is, what's my name? Richards, Justin Richards. I have this YouTube channel, so subscribe. I really do appreciate it. I lose some subscribers here and there. So I like to get, I guess people just like, I think people grow up and get mature and they realize I just don't need that in my life anymore. I'm actually dating, have a serious boyfriend, or, you know, I'm starting to do CrossFit. I don't really need this anymore. But, bruh, you need this, bruh. You need this. You need this. Because we get through it together, man. But I do love it. Love your support. Yeah, hit me up. If you got a question, relationship question. I think I got enough from the old days, but actually I've been pretty bad about keeping updated. So, but I'll still answer some of the questions that some people wrote in with. But I want to do all advice. Because let's just face it, there's nobody that you want to get advice about a relationship with somebody that's not in a relationship. You know? If you don't take advice from me, then I mean, I'm an expert of not being in a relationship. Maybe that's what I should do. Dude, I know how to be single. I master some things of being single. You know, and I'm still working on myself. And we're all trying to get better. So that's beautiful. 42.